All right, Dennis Lin at the Athletic saying internally, at least, the Padres have been discussing a trade of Ha-Seong Kim. We'll talk about that and much more here. It is a Sunday night MLK weekend edition of the wrap-up show. How about this new look from Jim Russell? Shout out Jim, who's like the behind-the-scenes, like social, digital, has a clue how to do these things because I don't. Guy, what do you think of the new look? Comment in the chat whether you're here live or on replay. What do you think of the new look? I would say 2 thumbs up from me. What do you think, Jim? Since you designed it, I would say at least 2 thumbs up from you.
No, I actually hate it.
You hate it? Yeah.
I don't like it that much.
Yeah, it's
I don't like
trash.
it. No. We had to start season 5 of the wrap-up show, right?
Season 5, third season on YouTube.
Correct. And I mean, look, you got to freshen things up a little bit. You got to start new. Got to put everything that happened last year in the past. We can't roll over what we were doing in 2023 to 2024 because last year was shit.
It was.
So wipe the slate clean, start new, and I'm feeling I'm feeling optimistic about this season. But at the same time, gotta freshen it up, man. Gotta freshen it up.
All right, so we put on social media like, hey, should the Padres consider moving Ha-Seong Kim? We'll see at 9:30. Like, just like a tease for the wrap-up show. And it's not like we're the only ones saying this. And then some rando on social media replied to this tweet and said, no, WTF is wrong with you too. This isn't our idea. Again, Dennis in the Athletic writing within the last couple of days that internally, at least, San Diego has been discussing the idea for weeks. MLB trade rumors saying if the Padres don't feel they can extend or re-sign the infielder, then a trade remains a possibility. Now, we can weigh the pros and the cons of it. I wasn't for a Juan Soto trade. I don't think I'm for a Ha-Seong Kim trade. But, Jim, that doesn't mean the Padres won't consider one if they think it makes them better.
It seems like every day that passes by, the Ha-Seong Kim potential trade thought grows larger and larger and larger. And Dennis Lin, I mean, not only does he write it, he's almost daring. Like the only player right now on this current roster that is getting any calls is Ha-Seong Kim. That's it. You can't trade Manny. You can't trade Xander. You're not going to trade Tatis, Musgrove, and Darvish. Like, you need them. The only player on the active roster, major league talent-wise, that has any type of trade value is Ha-Seong Kim. Do I want to do that move? Absolutely not. I think, the other day on John and Jim, we were talking about Luis Ariz and how there's multiple moves that you could make if you had to trade Ha-Seong Kim. If you needed somebody to replace, now it would cost a lot, obviously, because Luis Ariz is not like some rando. But if you were to happen to trade Ha-Seong Kim, then I would say this team would have to go out and get a legit replacement for him right now. And Luis Ariz, to me, would be the perfect replacement and fit for them. Even with Ha-Seong Kim on the team, I think Luis Ariz would be a good fit because he can play first base, and the team needs a first baseman. And oh, by the way, he's a damn good hitter. But the Ha-Seong Kim thing, doesn't it feel like the smoke is getting bigger and bigger? Like, it feels like if this team were to make a move, like a big time move that potentially could involve Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah, no, I do. I think it is a possibility. I mean, it would be interesting considering a couple of things. And you don't make decisions based on what I'm about to say. This is more the marketing side of things. And by the way, if you're here, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we've got year-round content for you with the Padres slant. So please subscribe, baseball fans, year-round content for you with the San Diego slant. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Appreciate your super chats, really do. Click the $sign below the chat box. We'll interact and get to every single super chat. It's a great way to support our work. And if you want to become a member, click join down below. You'll get custom emojis and badges. The Kim thing makes sense from a baseball perspective because he's got 1 year left on his deal. I don't think it makes sense from a marketing perspective. He's a fan favorite. You're playing in Seoul, South Korea. But then again, are you making decisions based on the fact that people chant his name and you're playing 2 games out of 162 in Korea? But then
if
again,
you are, then you should be fired.
True, but they're doing this Soul series on Twitter with these beautiful videos of Ha-Seong Kim in his home country. Again, I don't think that has no impact at all. But I think it would be very surprising, honestly, Jim, for a lot of Padres fans if all of a sudden Ha-Seong Kim got traded. I think there was a lot of smoke with Soto. It felt like it was an inevitability. We talked about it for, if not months. The Kim thing, if it happened, would be like, I think 9 out of 10 Padres fans would be like, wait, what? Was that? I didn't even realize it was a possibility.
No, I would hate it. I would. But the more reporting on it that gets done, the more you have to start potentially bracing yourself for a move like this. And if you trade Ha-Seong Kim, then it's like a ripple effect of so many different things. Number one, what are you going to do at third base while Manny's still, I guess rehabbing? I don't know if he's going to start the year at third base, but it's likely that he won't. So then what do you do there? And is this going to fast track Jackson Merrill's development? Like so many dominoes would fall if you traded Ha-Seong Kim for potentially more pitching. Because right now, John, this offense, what they have right now in this lineup, to me, is not good enough. Not even close. I think the lineup and the offense is more of a need than pitching, even though the adage is more pitching the better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this team had a hard time scoring runs last year, and you just lost your best hitter.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the question is, what needs are you addressing by getting rid of something, as valuable as Kim? I mean, Kim from a WAR perspective only, and it can be somewhat misleading because of his defense, but like you get rid of Kim, what do you need in return, considering what you're giving
Major league
up?
talent.
Well,
Major league talent.
No, you need more than major league talent. I mean, you need, like Dennis Lin wrote, that the return would need to be, quote unquote, way above the line, whatever that means. That ain't major league talent. That's winning a trade for a guy that has 7 WAR season.
Well, you trade Ha-Seong Kim. I mean, you just need to have
controllable pieces for multiple years.
Controllable pieces, multiple years, but also major league talent as well. You need a starter out of a Ha-Seong Kim deal, because if you end up trading him for just prospects, then what are we doing here? Then I'm starting to lean towards your theory that this is a rebuild year. If they truly ended up trading Ha-Seong Kim for like someone's 3rd and 6th ranked prospect, then I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's the plan? What are we doing here? This doesn't make any sense at all. Because shouldn't you be like trying to win this year? I mean, shoot, you gave your manager a 2-year deal. That signals that this year's a pretty big, important year for him. We've said, you can't miss the postseason 3 out of the last 4 years with this much payroll, with this much talent. It just can't happen at all if you want to expect to keep your job. Now, this organization, it kind of feels like they look the other way a lot of times with the results on the field, and the prospects are really good and the rankings are really good, and we just sold out our ballpark every single game this past year instead of the actual wins and losses. But like, you have to win this year. To me, it's a must-win situation, must-win year for this team. However many wins they get, it better equal postseason.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just don't see. I got into this back and forth with a loyal viewer and a passionate Padres fan, and we talk about him on the wrap-up show a lot. He could be here right now, whether it's live or on replay. Will Holder, who said, it feels like AJ's got 2 years to get this thing done. I'm like, well, hold on. He's got a year. And I don't care what goodwill, no pun intended, he can build by having some amount of success. You don't go 83 and 79 next year, even if you are developing players and having some success with young players at the big league level, and miss out on the postseason and sell that to your fan base. I mean, you just can't. I mean, again, if it's a 2nd-year GM, sure, but he's a 10th-year GM, and I don't see how you can get away with it. I'm a little bit surprised he's still here, but you had the health circumstances with Peter Seidler, and now you've got to turn over a little bit of the organization. But I think the Schilt 2-year deal means that Schilt and Preller are tied together, which means that if they don't win in 2024, you just get rid of both.
Yeah. And, you saw what Dennis Lin reported too, that Eric Katsenda is expected to speak publicly for the first time at spring training.
Yeah, I saw that. If not sooner.
If not sooner. So,
I mean, I figured that. I would have hoped we would have heard from him, before spring training. I mean, at some point we're going to hear from him. I hope it's
Yes,
before spring training.
maybe when we find out the true, like,
What's the deal?
goals and aspirations for this team. Because if Eric Asenda comes out and is throws a bunch of typical owner cliches at everybody, then then I could see if they don't win this year, like the postseason, Preller coming back. But if there's a straight up, we expect to win and be in the postseason this year and vie for, a World Series championship. And if they don't get it done, then all right, that's what the organization, whoever's in charge, if they don't make it there, then guess what? Everyone's gone. So the whole Ha-Seong Kim dynamic scenario has to go to the question, why? Why would you be trading Ha-Seong Kim? Is it because you can't re-sign him after this upcoming season? Because if that's the case, that's bullshit. Or is it because you think that you can upgrade your major league roster? Like, will your major league roster be better with the return that you get from Ha-Seong Kim than with Ha-Seong Kim on the roster? And if the question is yes, then it has to be thought of. Like, it has to be discussed for sure. But if the question is for this year, no, but hey, we can get some major league, prospects and hopefully they'll be getting in a couple of years, then what are we doing?
Wouldn't that be the same argument with Soto? I mean, maybe Soto, the risk reward. I mean, again, you couldn't risk not getting something back for Soto. I understand, but then again, if how do you tell me the 2024 matters, or we're trying to win a World Series in 2024, but you're going to trade Juan Soto?
Well, I think a couple things there that are different from Ha-Seong Kim. Ha-Seong Kim, you're not trading him because of salary or because with him on the roster, you're handcuffed from making other moves. The Juan Soto situation was they were handcuffed, at least they tell us, from making other moves, even though they really haven't made any other moves. And with him on the roster, they could not have done it. And they viewed trading away him as like, we're going to kill two birds with one stone here, even though we don't really want to do it. We're going to upgrade our roster by getting a bunch of players for one guy. And it gives us flexibility for any other moves. That's different than Ha-Seong Kim.
Well, maybe, but aren't they saying the same thing? Because aren't they basically just saying, well, in 2025, we can't afford Ha-Seong Kim? Because, we can afford him in 2024 because he makes $8 million a year, but in 2025, he's going to make $20 million a year? Then what happens?
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that they're viewing it that way. I don't think they're viewing it. Well, no, let me take that back. They probably are viewing it that way where, okay, we can't pay him after this season.
Mm-hmm.
But just because of that's the case, then why are you trading him? Like, you gotta think about how you can make this roster better, not about, hey, we're not going to be able to pay this guy next season.
Sure. Let's get to the first super of the night. Guys, appreciate you hanging out with us. We really do. Please subscribe. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're here live, thank you for the super chat, like this one from Gabe Mueller. We'll get to all of them. Click the $ below the chat box. If you're here on replay, we appreciate the super thanks. You can become a member by clicking join down below. Gabe says, and thank you, Gabe, if you can sign Gary for a cheap deal, we're talking about Gary Sanchez, would you trade Campusano? It will be Salas's job in the next couple of years. Miami needs a catcher. Could be interesting. Well, no, the reason I wouldn't trade Campusano is he's my controllable catcher for now. And Gary Sanchez is my 1 year what? I mean, hoping to catch the same lightning that he caught in a bottle in 2023. The Gary Sanchez thing, okay, on the cheap, maybe he's a DH. But I'm keeping Campusano because I'm not confident that Ethan Salas is going to pay any dividends, Jim, and 2024, 2025. He might have the brightest future in baseball, but it's going to take a couple of years.
Want to just get into the Salas thing right now since it was asked?
Sure.
I mean, you saw the article about Dennis.
I did.
I believe it was yesterday or today. I forget what day it was.
Yeah, about him being the second coming of Johnny Bench.
Yeah, Ivan Rodriguez, Padre Rodriguez, like he's the greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah.
And I read that article, and all I was thinking the entire time is Preller is 100% like itching to bring this guy up as soon as possible. And that would be a massive mistake.
See, I didn't read it thinking that. I know Dennis always says, hey, they bring guys up early. I don't. AJ Preller is a smart guy. We could argue about the job he's done here. He knows, like you and I know, that if Ethan Salas comes up in September of 2024, it does literally nothing for the San Diego Padres and just starts his clock. Like you don't bring up Ethan Salas September 1st and he has a 1,000 OPS and catches 24 games in the big leagues. Like that doesn't exist. So I don't think, I mean, we might agree that he's being rushed if he's up in 2025 as a 19-year-old, but I don't think they're going to rush him in 2024. I really don't, because I think they understand that A, they start his clock, and B, there's no real winning. They may be proving a point, hey, we got to catch to the big leagues at the age of 17 or 18, but I don't think they think that he's, going to produce anything for the big league club in 2024.
No, I don't think so either. But like, you saw how fast he moved in this organization last year, and you had a pretty good rant about how it was stupid to do it.
Stupid.
So what makes you think
because that's not costly? Because that's not costly. You can put a guy in AAA and he can fall flat on his face and it costs you nothing. You put a guy in the major leagues and he falls flat on his face, and you've started his clock and you've put it on display for everyone to ridicule. That doesn't happen in the minor leagues. You don't put a guy in AA and get ridiculed. Nobody knows other than me, you, and our viewers. This is the 1% that are aware of him being rushed in the minor leagues. It becomes everyone when you rush a guy to the major leagues.
No, I agree. I'm just saying this organization's history has been to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the major league level. Even if it's through the system, like you said, it doesn't hurt his clock at all, because rushing through the system doesn't do anything. It just maybe, I don't know, right? So the history of this organization is to rush. And that is where I get concerned, because what if Ethan Salas this year has a fantastic year in the minors, which would be awesome, right? Like, that's what you want to see. You want to see continued development. You don't tell them, you're telling me that they're not going to have a discussion potentially in the offseason about, hey, could he be ready for the big leagues this year, next season, if he has a great year this year in the minors?
Oh, yeah. Next season's a completely different conversation. I think he'll absolutely appear in the major leagues in 2025. I see no scenario where he's healthy that he's not appear in the big leagues in 2025. Zero. Of course he will.
Well,
of course
he
will.
To me, I'd much rather have a guy stay in the minors and get fully ready before rushing him up to the big leagues. And I still think even next year might be too soon.
Well, it may be, but we'll see what happens this year. I mean, if he hits, if he graduates levels, if he performs in AA. I mean, if he plays well in AA, then of course he'll play in the big leagues in 2025. If he falls on his face again in AA and they send him back to single A, yeah, maybe that changes things. But I'd be surprised if he wasn't up in 2025. I just think 2024 would be a huge mistake without any real dividends. Irie Fanke, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. He says Jake's the next Myers if he doesn't get back to second. Jake is the next Will Myers. How much was the Will Myers deal for when they made him the face of the franchise 5 years ago, 7 years ago? Was it for $80 or $90 million, right?
It was $80 million.
So similar contracts, but time has changed, obviously, or passed. So it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I don't know. They're completely different players playing different positions, but he's got a big year coming up, Jake Cronenworth.
No, it has to. I mean, you invested a lot of money in this guy, and his contract hasn't even started yet. And he's, his production has gone down every single year since he's been in the big leagues. That's not a good sign.
No, it isn't. It absolutely isn't. I mean, yeah, the next I don't know. I mean, all I know is he probably is playing out of position, and by probably he is, and maybe they can get him back to second base through a combination of moves between now and opening day.
And I don't know. Whole Jake Cronenworth thing is maybe they view Jake. They need to put him back at second base to regain some value and maybe make him feel more comfortable. And because he has this contract, to do that means to having to trade Ha-Seong Kim. Now, I think that's just kind of ridiculous. Like, you should play your best players. I mean, why try to force it when the numbers are the numbers and you see it with your own two eyes? Like, Ha-Seong Kim is a better player than Jake Cronenworth. No doubt about it. But who has the money right now and who's under a long-term contract? It's not Ha-Seong Kim, it's Jake Cronenworth.
Right.
And if they view like we need to kind of fix this guy because right now we couldn't trade him for a bag of chips.
Hmm.
And if first base is not going to do it, like because the value at first base, you need to be hitting for power and you need to be hitting like for big power. You can't be hitting, 10, 12, 13 home runs at first base in this climate of baseball.
Right.
So if they view it that way, I would not agree with it because to me, get the best players on the field, whoever's playing the best. And Ha-Seong Kim the last year proved that he's a better player than Jake Cronenworth and a more valuable player than Jake Cronenworth by far.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They got that wrong, extending Cronenworth, not Kim. I don't know if they had the opportunity to extend Kim or not. Paul, thank you for the very generous super chat. We appreciate
Paul.
that. And again, if you want to support the channel, if you want to make sure we get your comment, if you want to make sure we interact with it, you can click the $ below the chat box. Paul says, if they aren't upgrading the roster by trading Kim, it doesn't make sense to me. As currently constructed, this team is on a knife's edge of competitiveness. That is a really interesting way to put it, and I would not disagree with it. Like you said, currently constructed. Now they're not fully constructed, but the way it stands currently, and I see a lot of, well, they got Tatis and Machado and Bogarts, so like they're going to be good because of that. But they had those players last year and weren't good because of it. So I think it's going to take a lot more than the quote unquote stars they have, and they have to complete this roster. And right now, you really wonder how AJ Preller is going to do it. And I think Dennis Lim said in his mailbag this past week that he would be surprised if there wasn't a significant trade between now and the start of the regular season. So it's not just going to be sheer signings, this player for 10 million or that player for 15 million. That they very well could make a significant trade between now and opening day.
And you're absolutely right, Paul. This is what we were saying. If they don't trade Ha-Seong Kim to upgrade the current roster for next season, then why you trade him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't make sense if you trade him for a couple high-ranking prospects in someone else's organization, because then you're just saying, hey, guess what? We don't care about 2024. That's what you're saying. And then I will start leaning towards your side, John, of they're viewing this year as a rebuild developmental year.
Right.
For sure. Because it just wouldn't make sense to me. Like if you traded Ha-Seong Kim for Luzardo,
yep,
or you had a package where you got Luzardo, you can at least make that make sense and understand they need pitching, they need left-handed pitching, and they just got it. Now I don't know the control for Luzardo, but I think it's multiple years.
I will tell you right now, I think you are right. He is not a free agent until 2027, which means you've got 3 years.
Okay, so you would need to honestly trade more than just Ha-Seong Kim to get him. It would be like Ha-Seong Kim and a pretty high-ranking prospect in my mind.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for that, to be honest. That's a really good question. I'd love to know what it would take to get Luzardo. He's 26. Yeah. And you get him for 3 years, and you're getting rid of Kim for a year. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're going to need to trade more than Kim because Kim's up after a year. Yeah.
So then it goes back to, I mean, Kim has value for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are trading Kim and expecting and trying to get somebody of more value back, it's not going to work because no team would trade a valuable major league talent piece for 1 year of Ha-Seong Kim, especially a guy that's under control for multiple years. If you can find maybe a swap, like a guy that's on a 1 year deal left that could help you at the major league level, then you could think about it. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to do what AJ Preller always tries to do is, obviously get the best deal, duh. That's what GMs try to do all the time.
Sure.
And you're looking for guys that are controllable for multiple years. Well, then you're going to have to attach a prospect to Ha-Seong Kim. It's just, I just, that's how I view it. I mean, what do you view it like that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, they'll have to attach someone to Kim in that scenario. You don't get a player that has 3 years of control for a player with 1 year of control in this scenario without giving up something additionally you would have to assume in that hypothetical. I just don't see how you would do that because it's not like the Marlins are so all in on 2024 that they're giving up any of their future to be all in on 2024. Like they got one eye on 2025. They're the Marlins. They always have one eye on the future. So yeah, I don't think it's a perfect 1-for-1 swap in that hypothetical Kim for Luzardo. We're going to get back to the chat in a moment. I do want to remind you about our title sponsor here on the Wrap Up Show. We can't do this Ooh, what is this, Jim? Full screen?
Full screen, baby.
Okay, we can't do this without the support of our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. I kind of like when you can see us talking because it doesn't feel as much like we're just behind the curtain. So let me see the other option. Let me see what it looks like. What do you guys think? Now I see what you're saying because it kind of cuts off the sponsor. What do you guys think? You want to see our faces during these sponsor reads or not?
They barely want to see our faces without the sponsor reads.
Well, here's the deal. If you have any insurance needs, call Mark. I've done it. We've been with Mark for years now, me and my family, homeowners, earthquake, life insurance policies. He's a great insurance agent. He's a San Diegan. He's a huge Padres fan, and he's a big-time supporter of our work. He's our title sponsor. Click the link in the description down below. He can save you all kinds of money and time. If you ever have a claim like I did in 2022, he'll save you thousands of dollars and dozens of hours. He's a great insurance agent. You can take that from me, whatever it is. Homeowners, auto, renters, life, earthquake. I mean, whatever you need. Before you renew your policy, get in contact with Mark because he's going to save you time and money. And he's a great insurance agent with great service and communication. And again, he's a Padres fan, and he does business with San Diego. So if you're based in Southern California, if you're looking for an insurance agent before you renew, if you want to save $750 or more just by switching your insurance, please, Alan Padres says he wants to see our faces. Please click the link in the description down below. And Alan Padres speaks for all Padres fans. So click the link in the description down below. Please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
For every couple thousand of views we get for these wrap-up shows, Alan speaks for everybody. All the thousands of people watching,
yes,
Alan speaks for you all. All his information is now below on the ticker.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, email Mark at mnimitz@farmerageagent.com, where you can give him a call. And when you do, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
Seriously, guys, if you've been watching our channel for a long time, and we appreciate your support, but if you've got an insurance need, and I know you do, I get the renewals, the emails, call Mark. He's going to save you money, and he's going to talk to you about the Padres, and you're going to have an insurance agent that's a huge Padres fan, and that's a win, in my opinion.
And I think Mark's in the. I think Mark's watching potentially because I know he retweeted you.
Oh, did he?
So yeah.
Okay. What's up, Mark?
He'll be watching on replay.
I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see today that Hector Gomez tweeted out the Padres have called Fernando Tatis Jr. to let him know that he cannot continue playing winter ball for Frailes? And then Hector Gomez retweeted that, quote tweeted it, and said, source, Fernando Tatis Jr.'s father requested the Padres once again for an extension to continue playing in the Dominican Winter League's postseason. By the way, Fernando Tatis Jr., to follow that up, I don't know if I have the stats or not, has not played well, has he?
He's not?
I want to say at last check, he sent about 200 in 20 games.
I mean, I just look at the highlights that are posted on social media. I don't look at,
Frailes, no, he's either not hit well or he's hitting 346. But I don't think that's right because this says he's only played in 8 games, but I believe he was pushing 20 games as of a day or two ago. So this is Baseball Reference, has him at 8 games. I don't think that's accurate. Does anyone know his stats? Can you put it in the chat if anyone has updated stats on Tatis in the Dominican Winter League? Not that it's the end all be all. I'm just curious. Do you think he should continue to play?
No, I'm fine with the Padres kind of putting their foot down. They can do that. I mean, this guy's $340 million dude, sure. And they allowed him to go play. And I think he did pretty well. I don't know his stats. Like you said, he'd either be batting 346 or he'd be batting 146 or 200.
Well, so Christian just said the 8 games was for the games before the round robin. That makes sense. But I don't know what he's done in these last, because he's played 10 or 11 more games.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it. He played 8 games or ever how many games he played. Padres 100% have that right to tell him that hey, dude, we can't do that anymore. Because guess what? The Padres are his main employer, not the Dominican team that his dad coaches for. That's just what it is.
Like, think about that, Jim. Let's just add this up. Let's say he played 25 games for Frailes. Let's say, and not that spring training is a big deal, but let's just, you know what I mean? Give him 15 appearances in spring training. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully he plays 150 games in the regular season. Like, at what point?
Season potentially.
Yeah, I mean, you're pushing like 200 and something games for a guy that's had an injury-riddled career. Now, I respect the fact that he wants to play and is playing for his father and had a very interesting last 2 years with the surgeries and the suspension and switching positions. But at some point, you need to like take a week. Like
Yeah,
spring
and
training's coming.
Louise in the chat, she makes a great point. Spring training, it's starting earlier this year. So,
They have a game, what, February 22nd?
February 22nd. And for them, they're starting spring training, them and the Dodgers, before everybody else. They're having a game, I think, before everybody else. They play a regular season game before everybody else. They're going to have to travel across the world to Seoul, Korea. I am fine and I have no problem. And I'm on the Padres side here with this to kind of shut this thing down now. Let him, he played however many games he played for his dad's team. Okay. I think that there was some definite highlight reel plays. You saw, okay, you can hit, he can field, he's good to go, right? Make sure that he's not rusty for the start of the season because it's going to come up pretty quickly. And so for me, I'm on the Padres side here. Like, we're done. It's over. You're too valuable to our major league team to potentially have something crazy happen in the Dominican League winter ball. So shut it down. All right. We'll see you in a couple weeks and get ready for the regular season.
Willie, thank you for the super. He says, Jimmy loves your work on the Aztec Sports Report. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Willie. For more of Jim, search for the Aztecs. For more of Jim, search for the Aztecs wrap-up show on YouTube.
It's my little baby that
Jim does a double header on Sunday night. He does the Aztecs at 8:45. He does the Padres at 9:30.
Yeah, I started about 2 months ago, maybe a little
4 or 5 months ago.
4 or 5 months ago. I just figured, look, I want to do more wrap-up shows and more YouTube content, and I decided, look, Aztecs is something that I think that I could a little market and hone it in. So I wanted to do it. Been a pretty good success so far. We just reached over 1,000 subscribers, and it's great.
Yeah, I respect you, man. The hustle.
The hustle's it's grind, man. Especially with the fiance. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we should actually get into that, but maybe we
imagine if I had a kid, that'd be a lot to have two YouTube shows
with a kid and a fiance and Star Wars and NFL playoffs.
Yeah, just a lot.
Thank you, Willie, for your support of the channel. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, Machado. Dennis wrote about this. That the expectation is he could be fully, I forget the exact terminology. I'd have to look it up. But something about like he could be fully healthy, or the Padres expect him to be potentially fully healthy at some point in the second half of March. It's a bunch of really gibberish at this point, because who knows? I mean, who knows if he appears in spring training? Is he going to be solely a DH? Will he play in the field? Will he play in the field in Korea? Will he be eligible as DH in Korea? I'm not overly concerned today. I wouldn't be overly concerned if he didn't play in Korea, to be honest. It's 2 games, but I do want to know the plan and the timeline and when will he be in the field. And by the way, if he's not in the field the first month of the season, it's more reason to keep Ha-Seong Kim because of his versatility.
Yeah, Ha-Seong Kim feels like, with the uncertainty of Manny, right, how valuable he would be for this team. He can play, almost everywhere on the diamond. Like, you don't want him at first base. I don't think he's ever played first base in his entire life.
But honestly, if you had to, if it was like the 13th inning of a game and you had to put him there, you would.
I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like he can play anywhere, right? Like, he's a guy that's so versatile and plays at such a high level at 3 out of the 4 infield positions, because he's shown it. Like, he can more than take care of third base while however long Manny's gone, from playing in the field for. Shortstop and second base, he's proven he's a Gold Glover at both spots. So, it just goes back to the question of, like, if you're trading Ha-Seong Kim, does it make your major league roster better this year? And if the answer to that is no, then what are we doing? Because he feels like for this upcoming season, if he's on this team, he's good. He's a extremely valuable piece. Now, if you went out and like we said, get not a frontline starter, but a pretty damn good one, and maybe a prospect, and you have to trade a prospect as well, but you get that guy and he's under control for multiple years, and and now you've shored up some pitching issues, right? Because I don't know, outside of King, Musgrove, and Darvish, a lot of question marks, like a lot of question marks.
Mhm.
If you can get a four starter, not a number four starter, but a fourth starter that is under control and you feel confident in, then you can make me, or at least can try to convince me without me shutting you down right away for what the reason why you traded Ha-Seong Kim. But if you don't do that, then what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the get better in 2024. Like, if you can do the addition by subtraction, which I don't know if they did that with Juan Soto. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to say they did
Yeah, I
not
don't
do
know
that if
either.
Juan Soto hits 51 home runs with the Yankees and leads them to like an AL
Don't
East
don't even put
crown.
that out there. Don't even put that out
I
there.
mean, I would say it's more likely than not that he's MVP caliber than he's not MVP caliber. That's how I'm looking at it. Heading into a walk year, free agency, bandbox, great hitters yard, Yankee Stadium. So that's how I'm looking at that. But yeah, they've rounded out some edges. Michael King, relievers, Drew Thorpe, backup catcher. But I understand what you're saying related to Kim. It's like you can't be thinking about 2025 and moving Ha-Seong Kim. You got to be thinking about 2024 if and when you move Ha-Seong Kim.
Absolutely not, Albert. Like, not even, no way.
No, he's got
For
1 year control. I mean, I don't know who these three players would be. I mean, maybe you
you can
get
get like you
two
can
A
get like
ball
single A
prospects.
players.
Yeah.
Maybe get like one double A and two single A prospects for him if you really wanted
Yeah.
to. But three guys at the major league level under control, no shot. Like, no shot.
There was something I was about to bring up, and it was so impactful, Jim. You wouldn't believe how impactful it was.
Oh my gosh.
But while I think of that, we do want to remind you about our partner over at Aura, ora.organic. Will, their co-founder, is a San Diegan, like Mark Nimitz is a San Diegan and a huge supporter of our channel. If you're looking to get healthier in 2024, it should start with our friends at Aura, plant-based nutritional products, every single one of them, whether it's the probiotic I take daily for 2 years, an amazing product for digestion. I used to have all kinds of acid reflux issues. I have none of them anymore. And I should thank Aura for that. It's good for digestion, heart health, mental health. They've got pre-workout supplements, proteins for after workouts, omega-3 oils. If you're taking a fish oil, you can take their omega-3 oil, which again is plant-based. They have immunity pills and sleep pills. I've been taking their sleep pills over the last month or so as well. Great, great products. Literally something for everyone. They have much more than that. You can go to ora.organic or click the link in the description down below. But it's a new year. You're looking to get healthier, check them out at ora.organic. They have products for you, your family, your loved ones. Click the link in the description down below.
Yeah, if your New Year's resolution was to be healthier and you're still kind of trying to figure that whole thing out, well, Aura is the place to go for you to achieve all the goals that you want to live a healthier lifestyle. They have everything you need from pre-workouts to protein powders for post-workouts. They just have everyday vitamins that you can take as well, greens to make you feel healthier and be healthier. Go there right now, www.ora.organic. Pick up some stuff and try it out, and you'll thank us later.
You will thank us later. Again, if you're here live or on replay, please subscribe. Year-round content for you. If you are a Padres fan, smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. We get to every single super chat. And if you want to become a member, click join down below.
I want to bring this up. Like, okay, T-Fuel, Ernie Notorious Misfit.
If that is your real name.
True. Crazy name. What else is there to talk about? Like,
They've done nothing.
Other conversation.
We're the only people in the world providing live Padres content at this hour. We're literally the only. There's no other people in the world.
No.
I'm going to go search YouTube right now and see. There's no one. Radio, podcast. There's nobody live in the world talking about the Padres right now.
When we do get any type of nugget of news, one, the Padres have, discussed internally the ideas of trading Ha-Seong Kim, and other teams are only calling on Ha-Seong Kim as of right now. And then the Ethan Salas conversation about when might the Padres bring him up? Are they going to rush him? Are they going to be too quick with him? Are they going to ruin his development? Like, what do you want us to talk about?
I have one more thing, actually.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's not, I mean, I have more than one. I mean, obviously, there's all kinds of things you could talk about. I mean, we could talk about Mike Schilt talking with Kevin Acee and saying, hey, we're going to do it the Padres way. Great. And then what happens when they're 0-1? You know what I mean? Like, it sounds good in theory in January.
Oh, and
Here's what
one.
I'm curious about. Here's
How
what
about
I'm
like
curious
20
about.
and 35?
I want to know if Blake Snell and or Josh Hader sign this week. I think one sign this week. We're just getting too late now. And these big time frontline names, yes, we've seen some guys hold out over the years. There's no question about it. We've seen Machado late. We've seen Hosmer late. I mean, at some point, we're going to need some movement with some players that are, towards the top of this free agent class. I mean, I would think maybe we get some news on either Hader or Snell. I'm kind of hopeful. And then we can stop having the conversations about, well, maybe the Padres could do 5 for 150 for Snell, or maybe the Hader thing's done, obviously, by the wayside. Matsui, go, Suarez, that's done. But will we see Snell or Hader signed sooner rather than later?
Did you see? So first up, Friday, was it? Because you left early Friday, correct? Or did you leave early Thursday?
I think it was third. Where'd I go? Oh, I had to pick up Jones.
Okay, yeah. So you left early Thursday, and at the very end of our show, the Yankees signed Marcus Stroman.
Right.
Earlier in our show, it was reported by John Heyman or someone that's credible, I think, that the Yankees were, looking at Blake Snell, and an offer was potentially made of $150 million for 5 years, $30 million a year. And then quickly, within a couple hours, they signed Marcus Stroman. And then now I see reports of him potentially wanting well over $200+ million for a contract.
Because the sides were far apart at 150, reportedly.
Yes, way far apart. I've seen reports of the Blue Jays trying to monitor Blake Snell. They were in on Shohei Ohtani, so they're willing to spend a boatload of money
True.
on a player if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. It's going to be so interesting because I could see him easily getting a $150 million contract, or I could see him trying to wait this thing out for a $200 million contract. But I think he would get closer to 150 million than 200+ million, right?
Yes, I agree with that. Yes. I think he's closer to 150. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he doesn't sign for more than 150.
I think teams look at a guy that led the league in walks this past season. Now, granted, he definitely got out of a lot of jams to get him the Cy Young, but I mean, you can't go into a season or at the end of a year and you're like, oh, I led the league in walks and still put up a 1.8 ERA. Like
Not
at
every
some
year.
point, it's going to come and bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that much pressure on a guy that's not sustainable. And to see what he's done in the years when he has not won the Cy Young would give some teams definite pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
And maybe the Giants did try to get Blake Snell and looked at the asking price and was like, yeah, no. And then they pivoted to Jordan Hicks. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Jordan Hicks. And obviously, you have Bob Melvin there telling you everything you need to know about Blake Snell. So like, yo, if he's not going to accept this deal, no way should you go over that, because just that's who he is. I'm interested where he goes and how much money he gets, but I would be shocked if he gets over 200 million.
Oh, yeah, I would too. And I'm sure there's a lot of teams that are desperate for good starting pitching. There are question marks with Blake Snell, to your point. I think what he deserves is in the 150 range. I think that's what he gets. I think he's kind of earned that, which is a lot of money and a lot of years, but he's put himself in a position where he should warrant that. The 200 is an extreme reach that goes to of course, he's been as good of a pitcher as as there's been in baseball, because he's won 2 Cy Youngs, but I don't consider him to be like a top 3 pitcher in baseball the last 5 years, even though he's got 2 Cy Youngs. Like, do you consider Blake Snell a top 3 pitcher over the last 5 collective years in baseball? I don't.
No.
But he's had 2 Cy Young award-winning seasons. That's where it gets tricky with a player like Snell.
Wait, he said 2 and 5? When's that one? He won 2018?
In 2023.
Wow. Okay.
Is that 18, 19,
18,
20, 20.
19, 20,
No, it's
21,
actually the
22.
6th season, 2
Six.
and
Yeah.
6.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say
fair.
I suck at math, but even then I was like,
Yep,
what?
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's just when players go to arbitration, right? And the two sides, like, look at what Corbin Burns and and same thing with Josh Hader with the Brewers. And the
Mhm.
Brewers just ripped these two guys a new one, pretty much telling them, hey, you're not this, you're not the shit, this.
Right.
You know, I think that's a little bit of a situation with Blake Snell. If teams are actually being 100% honest and not just looking that he just won the Cy Young, they know that this guy, it, not only is he not as consistent as you want to give him a $30 million deal and well over $200 million, that you're probably going to get more or less the guy that you saw in 2022 at his best for a consistent period of time
Sure.
than
Mhm.
a guy last year who won the Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be almost impossible to replicate 2023 ever again. I mean, if he
Yeah.
does, again, if he gets a third, he's got the most ridiculous in terms of like oddities career. If he gets a third Cy Young with a third team, even though you're going to look at his career numbers and be like, he's got no wins, he's got no innings, he's got no starts.
High walk
But
rate, all that stuff.
like if he gets a third, which by the way, you can start talking about because he's got two. So if he somehow gets a third, there's no pitcher in the history of baseball that's got 3 Cy Youngs that isn't tied to steroids, that's not in the Hall of Fame, I assume. There's no
Yeah.
way there's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner that didn't show up in the Mitchell report that's not in the Hall of Fame. So
And
he's
that's
a
why
Cy Young Award away.
yeah.
I mean, as stupid as it sounds, but you're gonna look at his numbers like, what? He's got like no wins.
But dude, that's why baseball, the voting for the Hall of Fame is stupid. Because if that happened, just hypothetical, he goes to Toronto.
Yeah,
All right.
wins the Cy Young.
5 years, he has 3 average seasons, 1 good season, and
And
then
one
1
great.
Cy Young season.
Mhm.
3 Cy Youngs, 3 different teams. To your point, that's incredible. An incredible accomplishment. And guess what? He wouldn't even be close to a Hall of Famer.
I don't know, dude. Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Here are the all-time 3-time Cy Young Award winners. Sandy Koufax,
Okay.
Tom Seaver,
Okay.
Jim Palmer,
Okay.
Pedro Martinez,
Uh-huh.
Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Steve Carlton, Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens. There's your list.
And Blake Snell's overall career numbers
Is nowhere near any of
wouldn't
those.
even be
I
close to
know.
any of those players.
But so what would you do in that? So would he not be close to the Hall of Fame with 3 Cy Youngs?
I am on the side of the Hall of Fame. One, I think the process is an absolute joke.
Okay.
And 2, it needs to change. Like, when you look at a player, if a dude won like 2 or 3 World Series, won an MVP,
Right.
made 8 All-Star appearances, played 12 years in the big leagues, but his numbers aren't like insane. They're really good. And then that guy's not a Hall of Famer because his numbers aren't good enough. Like, so we're just discrediting like awards. We're discrediting MVPs. We're discrediting Cy Youngs. We're discrediting winning
Okay.
World Series. We're discrediting making all-star teams.
So are you then arguing for Blake Snell?
I think I actually am arguing for Blake
Because
Snell.
then
Yeah.
you're saying he would have, if he had 3 Cy Young awards, like what's better than now this guy here's okay, let me give you a hypothetical. This is kind of let's say at the end of his career, he's a 2-time All-Star. He's been a 1-time All-Star. Okay.
Wow.
So maybe give him 3. Let's just pretend like he's a 3-time All-Star
Mhm.
with 3 Cy Youngs and 125 wins. I mean, he's got 71, but he's 71 and 55, which is damn
What's his
good.
career ERA then?
3.2. Let's just say his career ERA is that 3.2. He's 125 and 90.
How many
With a
strikeouts does he have?
3.2. He's got an absurd number of strikeouts for innings, 1,223 and 992 innings, which is crazy for a starter.
All right, let's
But
say
he's
he
going
ends
to
up
throw
with
1,500 career innings. 1,600, let's say.
So how many strikeouts would that be?
So let's say he gets 2,000.
All right, 2,000 strikeouts, 3-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young,
Yeah.
125 wins with a 3.2 career ERA.
Yeah.
It's
It
crazy.
would be, he'd be his own unique example.
It's insane because you talk to all the old heads in baseball,
They'd be like, no shot.
these losers that don't vote for anybody on their ballot and then vote for just like random people. You're like, why are you voting for this guy? It doesn't make any sense. It would need to change. Like it would absolutely need to change. And if it doesn't, then he has no shot, which is
Okay,
stupid.
so someone that says this is okay, well then if he's a Hall of Famer, then isn't Darvish a Hall of Famer? But there's a difference. Darvish doesn't have a Cy Young. Okay. So that's a huge difference. Yeah, it's a classic example of like Darvish is going to be a longevity guy. He's going to have more All-Stars. He's going to have more strikeouts. He's going to have more innings. He's going to have more wins, but he's not going to have that absurd upside of the multiple-time Cy Young Award winner. Like that's the best pitcher in the league. Like you can't do better than that. You do it 2 or 3 times. Very few people have done that.
Numbers obviously, should absolutely matter for your case to make a Hall of Fame. But it feels like in baseball, awards don't mean as much. Like winning awards, to me, I don't know if it means like a whole lot. Like, I mean, you look how many Hall of Famers are in the Hall of Fame that have like never won an MVP.
Yeah, but you would think if you were a 3-time MVP, wouldn't that make you a shoo-in?
Or you never won a World Series. You know,
but what about the opposite? Like if 3-time MVP, who's not in with 3 MVPs? 3-time Cy Young, who's not in with 3 Cy Youngs?
How many just 1-time MVP winners aren't in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, definitely a lot.
How about 2-time MVP winners?
Probably not a lot, but 1 time's definitely happened. Like the Brady Anderson type season. I mean, I don't even know if Brady Anderson was MVP, but you know what I mean?
But what about 2-time? I mean, 2-time MVP, that's pretty big. You're the best in the sport for 2 years. And you probably put up some pretty good numbers over a course of like a 5-6 year window.
I'll look up that list. Multiple time MVP award winners in baseball. You got Bonds. I don't know. Bonds has 7 because people say we're not talking about anything. Trout's got 3. Pujols has 3. By the way, I don't think anyone has more than 3 in the history of baseball other than Bonds. Trout 3, Pujols 3, A-Rod 3. A lot of guys tied to steroids. Schmidt 3, Mantle 3. Yogi Berra 3, Roy Campanella 3, Stan Musial 3, DiMaggio 3, Jimmy Fox 3, Ohtani 2. Okay, he's in. Harper 2, he'll get in. Miggy 2, Juan Gonzalez 2, Big Hurt 2.
Is Juan Gonzalez a Hall of Famer? I was waiting for a guy in there that I was like,
yeah. No, I don't think so.
Okay, then why isn't Juan Gonzalez? So I was waiting for that. Like, Juan Gonzalez, 2 MVPs. He put up numbers for sure.
Yeah, good numbers.
He's not going to be a Hall of Famer.
I think that's accurate. And you're going to say why?
And the fact that Bonds isn't a Hall of Famer still is just like.
Well, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother conversation because there's other guys like that.
But anyway, if he wins, if Blake Snell goes to another team and wins another Cy Young, that would be just an insane accomplishment. And yet, like we both agree, I don't know if his numbers would. Omar says in the chat, Roy Halladay won 2 Cy Youngs, 2,100 career Ks, 3.3 ERA.
Yep.
Is he going to be a Hall of Famer?
100%. Right? This guy was the dominant best pitcher in baseball.
When is
I'm putting Roy Halladay in.
Okay.
He's not eligible, is he? I mean, he died in a plane crash.
Has he been on the list? When was his?
Well,
5 years after, right?
I know. I mean, when was the last time he played? That's a fair point. It's been 5 years, right?
Quan said Cliff Lee, Roy Oswalt.
Yeah.
Are those guys Hall of Famers?
I mean, I'm surprised that someone like Halladay, it's a good point because he hasn't played in like 10 years.
Oh, is he a Hall of Famer? He's already a Hall of Famer?
Oh, he's inducted, dude.
Oh, I was like, okay, yeah. Good. I'm
first ballot.
Sorry. My bad.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this guy's a sure. The dude
Yeah, I
was
was like, wait, what?
203 and 105.
Yeah,
Like, what?
how many no hitters in
He's got
postseason,
multiple
regular
Cy Youngs.
season? Yeah, it's just yeah.
The guy was
But
dominant.
but he also has the numbers to like back it up,
Yeah.
like and the
Yeah,
consistency that he
I
had.
consider him to be more dominant than Blake Snell, but Snell's career is not over. Oh, but
Anyway,
somebody was saying in here, they were, like, mad that we weren't, like, where's the Bogarts? Hold on. Okay, here. Xander's gonna be a Hall of Famer, and you guys don't respect him at all? Question mark. And before you say no, he only needs to average 145 hits per season, and we'll get 3,000. And he just got over 170 in his worst season. Okay, so let's pull him up. Bogarts
wait,
has.
when did I say he's not a Hall of Famer or going to be a Hall of Famer?
I think we've probably maybe made that point. I mean, he doesn't
See, it's such
scream. You know what I mean? He's not screaming Hall of Famer because I don't know what he's going to do in the second half of his career. I
it's
think
just
his
so
first half is Hall of Fame worthy.
it's weird because to Yvonne's point, like at the end of Xander's career, he could have numbers for sure.
Yeah, he probably will.
But for Hall of Famers, I feel like you have to almost combine the numbers and also look and weigh the accomplishments and awards that they won. Now, Xander has a World Series under his belts.
Too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has that. But other than that, not a lot. But the numbers might be good
I don't
enough.
know about that, dude. Like, okay, so the most homers ever hit by a shortstop are 353 Cal Ripken. I mean, he's
Is he
already
a Hall
got
of Famer?
100. Good one. So, I mean, the guy's has like the trend lines. He's going to have like a 20-year career. He's going to have 3,000 hits. He's going to have 300 home runs. He's going to have multiple World Series. I mean, it's a fair point. I should look at like comp players at Baseball Reference. Like similar batters right now to Xander in their career: Buster Posey and Troy Tulowitzki and Francisco Lindor. I mean, those are pretty good comps.
Buster Posey is going to be a very interesting case study for a Hall of Fame.
But listen to this: similar batters through age 30. Ryan Sandberg is the number one comp.
Is that pretty good?
So, I mean, again, we saw an off year for Bogarts. It's not the worst year in baseball history. You're just expecting more because he's making a lot of money. And he had a good April and he had a good September. It felt like the rest wasn't that good. And the team wasn't good. He still had a 4.4 WAR. But I mean, let's see what he does this year. I'm not talking about a Hall of Fame. I want to see Xander like Boston Xander.
Did you see Major League Baseball? You know the shredder that they do with
Yeah.
They had
Brian
him as
Kenny or whatever.
the third best shortstop in baseball ahead of Trey Turner.
It seems high to me.
Yeah, I watched every at bat and game of Xander's season last year,
It was
and
not a good year.
he had a really good start and a really good finish, and 4 months in between of really bad baseball.
I mean, what's crazy is what we're saying is the 2023 Padres, hear me out. The 2023 Padres could have had 4 Hall of Famers on them. Snell, okay, a reach, but let's just go down that path. Bogarts, if you want to have that conversation, he's going to, let's say he'll get to 3,000 hits and 300 home runs for a shortstop, which is like 3 people have done that, maybe. Machado, because Machado's trending for 3,500. That's basically inarguable if he stays healthy. And then Tatis, we can argue because of the suspension, and he's super young. But we don't know what's going to happen over the next 10 years. And the guy might be a 2-time MVP in 10 years. So, and am I missing any? I mean, and here's the 5, Josh Hader.
Oh, yeah. Closer.
I mean, again, it's not a shoe-in, but it's definitely possible.
I saw in the chat, great comp, Tim Lincecum. He won 2 Cy Youngs, multiple World Series, was dominant for a pretty good stretch, fizzled out, doesn't have the numbers, but he has accomplishments, and he has the titles, the Cy Youngs, and he's not going to be a Hall of Famer.
It's a good comp right now. My separating factor is my hypothetical is the 3rd Cy Young. I'm not giving it to Snell with 2 Cy Youngs either. Don't make no mistake. But a 3rd, and again, long way to get it. Guy could be terrible. I mean, we have no idea, you know,
What
or he
if
could be amazing.
Snell, say, gets a 5-year deal, he makes the All-Star team 4 of the 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he racks up like, I don't know.
10 wins.
Yeah.
He's only won 10 games 2 times. Isn't
And
that
those
crazy?
are the Cy Young years.
21 wins one year and I think 14 the other.
Yeah. What if he just puts up like consistent solid numbers, doesn't win a Cy Young, but next 5 years, like consistent 15 wins, 12 wins, 14 wins, 17 wins, 13 wins, and he's all around a 3 ERA.
I don't know. I don't think that's enough. I think he needs that like cherry on top.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's just it's crazy because he can absolutely win another Cy Young, but he can also absolutely shit the bed and for the 3 of the next 5 years.
Oh, we can do that. All right, we'll get back to it in a moment. I do want to remind our viewers about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you use promo code PADSWRAP, that's PADSWRAP, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You can go to underdogfantasy.com. You can win 20 times your money playing pick'ems in a single wager. Okay, 20 times. Go 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4, then 5 for 5. You win 20 times. Think about that. Double your first deposit up to $100 by using promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Again, double your first deposit up to $100. You don't have to deposit $100. You can deposit $10 or more, and you will double it using promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Click the link in the description down below or go to underdogfantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. They've got, obviously, NFL playoff pick'ems going on right now. Drafts are going on right now in the NFL playoffs, NBA as well. And of course, spring training is coming next month. So sign up, use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, double your first deposit up to $100.
If you had to right now, and you had a bet, would you bet that Ha-Seong Kim is traded before the start of the year?
I would say no. What would
Yeah,
you say?
I'd say no too. Not like a definitive 100% no, but
No, not definitive. I would just say no. I think it's more likely stays than goes.
it just doesn't like if they truly want to win in 2024, it doesn't make sense. I mean,
Right.
You're not getting a like number 3 starter just for Ha-Seong Kim with control. It's not happening.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't see the real motivation. I'm like, let's just ride 2024 with them.
yeah, if anything, the smarter move is to like, I don't know, use some of your talent in the minor leagues. And I'm not saying do a blow up here by any means to get like talent in here,
Mm-hmm.
but you have the most ranked top 100 prospects in all baseball. We know
I think
Ethan
it's
Salas.
8.
We know Ethan Salas and probably Jackson Merrill are guys that are untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Drew Thorpe, just because they just traded for
Yeah,
him.
I would think so. Yeah.
And to an extent, Robbie Snelling or Dylan Lesko.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to
Yep.
keep those pitchers. But you're telling me that you can't package a deal with the other top, prospects in the organization to get a major league outfielder here or a major league first baseman here or another pitcher in your rotation without having to trade Ha-Seong Kim, who we know what he can do at the big league level right now. We don't know what these guys can do at the big league level as prospects. Like AJ Preller is so good at kind of like making you look over here when everybody should be looking over here with prospects. Like this team is like have no left fielder. They have no center fielder and they have no left-hander in their starting rotation. But look at our top 100 prospects. Isn't this great? It's like, wait, what? Trying to do the okie doke on me?
Right.
So you need to figure a way to make the big league roster better. And to me, it doesn't involve trading Ha-Seong Kim. It involves trading
the system.
Some players in your system that aren't Ethan Salas and Jackson Merrill and Drew Thorpe. Like, I think you could do that.
Yeah, I probably agree with you, although we are maybe the first to criticize when they don't fully develop players in their system and trade them away.
Look what Preller did. And I'll give him all the credit in the world. A couple of years ago when he traded one top prospect in the Musgrove, Snell, Darvish offseason.
Right. Patino.
And guess what? Now he's back on the team.
Right.
So he can do it because he's shown he can do it. You don't have to trade top level prospects in your organization to get major league talent here to make a difference. So he's shown he can do it. So I think that has to be the route they go. That's not involving trading Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would do that before I trade Ha-Seong Kim. I agree with that. Richard, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. He says on Snell, his inconsistency is the only thing he's consistent at. That's fair. Although, again, he's like what's the best? There's like two sides to Blake Snell, is what I would say. He's like bipolar. He's either dominant or he's not. But he's been dominant a couple of times in his career. And then Richard says he likes the logo, Jim. He says has that 84 Padres uniform look, but it's actually not 84, is it? You were replicating 74, weren't you?
It's a version
of
84 and 74 with a new school twist on it. But definitely the P's in the wrap up is 100% either 84 or 74, the logo.
Settle something for us right now if you're here live or on replay. If we're doing 2024 wrap-up show merch, would you like to see the wrap-up show like logo t-shirt, like what Jim has up here? Or do you want to see, what's the term, Jim? Like slogan tees? Like, do you want to see a t-shirt that says like Marine Layer? Bad example, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I mean? Like, would you want to see like like a saying of ours on a t-shirt as opposed to a t-shirt that just says the wrap-up show? I mean, I like the wrap-up show on a t-shirt. Don't get me wrong, especially with this new logo.
Yeah, And by the way, if anybody else, if anybody out there is a graphic designer,
then please design things for us.
Hit us up. Would love to work with you. Would love to work with you.
We really would.
Ban Jim.
What's this?
Ban Jim shirt would be hype.
Ban Jim.
Don't put your ugly mugs on it, JK. Wear Soto t-shirt. No, we can't put names. It's like
right. That's like illegal. But we can put heavy as the head that wears the crown. Things like that.
We can figure it out.
Yeah. Anyway, if you do want to help us out, what's our email? Padres wrap up show @gmail.com.
Yeah. We'll pay you in like
Foco bobbleheads.
Right. I'll give you a
look at this.
I'll give you a Juan Soto bobblehead. Padres bobblehead.
Okay, we'll pay you in Padres related memorabilia.
Are you a graphic designer, Retard, or are you one of those graphic designers?
Retard, email us and with some examples. Or if anyone that's here that has graphic design skill or knows somebody that knows somebody, Padres wrap up show @gmail.com. Jim does a really nice job. Seriously, Jim, I'm not kidding. If this was my channel, it'd be like, my name is John.
That's how it is. It is your channel. It's the Aztec wrap up show.
But I did a half decent job with that, probably with your help.
Didn't you do it tonight and you had a yellow ticker?
Yeah, because of this. Because I didn't know how to change it. I didn't want to change what you had done for this.
I have an idea. Make your own wrap-up show section in StreamYard.
I don't freaking know how to do that. I opened up StreamYard.
And then you can do whatever you want in there.
Okay. Retard will help in lieu of super chats. Okay. Deal.
Cool. Hit us up.
All right. Your work. Your first assignment is heavy as the head that wears the crown. Slogan tee. Or show us your work. Yeah. Exactly.
And a potential John and Jim new logo. By the way, if you guys are here right now and you haven't already, go subscribe to the John and Jim show page. We have obviously every day, Monday through Friday, because it's our jobs radio show, 3 through 6. Go subscribe there and like and watch all of our videos. The Luisa Rise video, by the way, people are like,
ooh,
all up in arms about that. Go watch that video. We talk about Luisa Rise because there was a report that the Marlins could potentially consider trading him and why it would make sense for the Padres.
All right. David likes anything we do as long as he doesn't hear about Star Wars, podcast, anything about the Niners or the Eagles.
So I'll just shut the fuck up.
Well, no. John and Jim, you get all of that. So, David, don't subscribe to John and Jim. Wrap up show, you basically get 99%.
Subscribe to John and Jim.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe. Just kidding. Subscribe to that. All right, guys, it's been fun, relatively speaking. I mean, there's nothing going on, and we're like a pitchers and catchers report in less than a month, I
dude.
think.
It's
Yeah,
less than
if they play
a month.
February 22nd, then they
Less than a
report.
month.
Yeah. I tend to agree with Gefilte Fish. That says Arise is a dream, sadly. Probably. I mean, they'd be selling at the absolute high.
It probably is a dream, but doesn't stop me from talking about
dreaming.
it and thinking it through. And I mean, Luis Arise, I think, would be a good fit on this team, just player wise. Like, he's not a power guy, but he's an average guy, and we know at Petco Park what power guys do, and it's not a good fit.
Right.
Average
So
guy, average
perfect.
guys at Petco would be perfect, but yeah,
He's
it
like the
probably won't
best.
happen.
He's like the best pure hitter since Tony Gwynn, so maybe it would work.
And he loves Tony Gwynn. He keeps posting about
I
Tony Gwynn all
know.
the time.
Willie, thank you again. He says, John, amazing job on the new logo.
You did a really good job.
Yeah,
You did
thank
a
you, Willie. I
really good
appreciate
job,
it.
John.
Spent a lot of time on it. I did.
Yeah.
John
Oh yeah.
wouldn't know
What
how to
about?
do it. By the way, we didn't mention. What'd you say?
I said if you tried to make a logo, dude. So just behind the scenes, I was like fooling around the other day with like John and Jim stuff,
Yeah.
and I sent it to John, and I
literally was like, this is awful.
Were you like visibly upset when you looked at these logos that I sent you?
Let me. I can't even find them because we text so often that I'd have to go so far back. Can you send me one again? Or put it on the screen. I was like, this is awful. I
No.
wanted to like throw up.
John was so
I
mad
knew you
at
weren't
me.
going to do it because I thought it was so bad. Hold on. Oh, it was John and Jim with like, can I put this on the screen somehow? Like, this literally is the most unoriginal thing I've ever seen in my life. Hold on.
I was just messing around.
I airdropped it. Now, what can I? You know me, I'm not gonna be able to.
Oh, God, it's gonna take like 30 years.
It's gonna take me an hour and a half to post.
John with technology
Like
is
download. Okay, it's an HEIC file, dude. What does that even mean? I can't update it. Put it in there, but it's HEIC.
Well, there's no point in showing anybody because it's not gonna be. We're not gonna use anything.
Can I show it? Just can I hold it up?
Sure.
What do you guys think of this logo? And the
What if
only answer is it's awful. Like, dude, every radio show in the history of the world has had a radio mic. Like, what does this have to do with us?
I was bored because I'm alone at my house, and so I was just doing stuff, and I was sending it to you because I knew you'd be upset about it. You'd be like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life."
I think there were more. I'm like, I threatened to. This is even worse. This is awful. I'm such an asshole.
Yeah, so you fucking suck.
No, but you do good work. But I tell you when, was that your best work? Maybe not.
Whatever.
All right, guys. We will be back when there is Padres news. So we'll see at some point in 2024. I promise you that. Okay. A reminder, please subscribe here on Content for Padres fans. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you want the podcast-only edition of the show, you can click the link in the description down below as well. Please support our partners, our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have auto, home, renters, life, earthquake insurance needs, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He can save you $750 or more just by switching your insurance. Click the link in the description down below. Aura, if you're looking to get healthier, they've got plant-based nutritional products for you. ORA.organic or underdogfancy.com. Again, use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get 100%, or excuse me, double your first deposit up to $100 by using promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. So what's the deal with it? Can you give us the 60-second update on the Bachelorette weekend or no?
There's no update. They had a great time.
They're not even back yet, are they?
No, she gets back tomorrow afternoon. So, just a normal bachelorette party.
A normal bachelorette. What is a normal bachelorette party?
That's a good question, John. I don't really know exactly how to describe that.
This is our whole Tuesday show, so you better have some content.
I mean,
all right. Erin's back tomorrow.
She's back, thankfully.
Okay.
Thank God.
Like thank the Lord. All right, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks as well. Thanks for the comments as well. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the wrap-up show. Thanks for hanging.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye-bye.